You sit across from a prospect.
Oh, I know where this is going.
You know exactly the look, right?
Yeah.
They look you dead in the eye.
Hmm.
And they tell you flat out, they're so firm about this, they just want a cheap, simple fix.
Nothing fancy, just the basics.
Exactly. They say, I have a strict budget.
Yeah.
I do not want the bells and whistles. Give me the lowest price.
And you give it to them.
You give them exactly what they asked for.
Right.
You strip out all the extra features. You give them the rock bottom price. You send the pitch.
And then crickets.
Total silence. They just ghost you.
It is the absolute worst feeling in sales.
It really is. You sit there checking your email. Your manager's asking for an update on the pipeline.
Oh, the pipeline pressure.
Yeah. And you have to say, I gave them what they wanted, but they aren't calling me back.
Which is painful enough.
But then 2 weeks later, you find out they signed a contract with someone else.
Let me guess. The other guy was way more expensive.
Twice as much. They bought a super complex tool from a competitor for double the budget they swore they had.
Which just makes you feel like you're losing your mind.
Right. Like, why do we do this? Why do buyers lie like that?
Well, see, that is the big trap. We think they are lying to us.
They aren't.
Not on purpose. I mean, this is the single biggest trap for anyone trying to close a deal or even just connect with a human being.
Okay, I am so curious about this.
We all walk around convinced that our choices make perfect sense. We think our actions match our spreadsheets.
But they don't.
Not even close. The actual data of how human habits work tells a vastly different story.
So what is actually happening? Because if you try to map out that ghosting story using logic, the math simply does not work.
It doesn't work because the decision is not living on the surface.
What do you mean?
We assume decisions happen in the words we say, but they don't. They live way down deep.
In, like, hidden desires.
Yeah, desires and fears that the buyers themselves mostly cannot even name.
Wow. So if you are only listening to their words.
You are missing the actual game. You are missing the real deal happening underneath.
Okay, that makes sense. But why? Why are we built that way?
It comes down to the literal speed of the human brain. We naturally assume we are highly logical creatures, right?
Right. We like to think we weigh our options.
Exactly. But the part of our brain that processes fear and emotion, the feeling brain, it reacts to things in mere milliseconds.
Milliseconds. That is fast.
Super fast.
Yeah.
But the logic brain, the part that handles reason and math and features, that part is so slow.
Really?
It is one of the slowest parts of the whole system.
I never thought about it like that. So the feeling brain gets the message first.
Way first. And that speed difference isn't an accident. It is a pure survival trait.
Like from caveman days.
Exactly. If you see a shadow moving in the tall grass, your feeling brain does not wait to logically figure out if it is a lion or just the wind.
Because if you wait, you get eaten.
Right. It floods your body with adrenaline right away so you can run.
That makes total sense.
By the time your slow logic brain catches up to analyze the shape of the shadow, your feeling brain has already made you sprint 50 yards.
So bring that into a sales pitch.
In a modern setting, by the time a client forms a clear, logical thought about your product...
An emotional anchor has already been dropped.
Exactly. The feeling brain has already decided if it likes you, if it trusts you, or if it wants to run away.
Oh, wow. I learned a while back about these patients who had brain damage in their feeling centers.
Oh yeah, I know the ones.
Their logic was totally fine. They were super smart.
But they couldn't make choices.
Right. They would stand there paralyzed, trying to pick between a blue pen and a black pen.
Because without emotion, there is no action.
Which means logic is not the scale we use to weigh our options.
No, not at all.
Logic is just the tool we use to carry out a choice that the feeling brain already made.
I mean, think about it. Most of our choices, like 95% of them, happen completely below the surface.
That is a huge number.
It is. What we call decision-making is mostly just making excuses after the fact.
Like we are telling ourselves a story to justify what we already felt.
We are hardwired to feel first and think second.
It is like our logic brain is basically a defense lawyer.
Oh, I like that.
Right. Its only job is to justify the actions of a guilty client.
And the feeling brain is the client.
Yeah. The client already did the crime. The lawyer just has to build a case to make it look okay to the jury.
That is so true.
You don't buy the sports car because of the fuel system or the resale value.
No, you buy it because gripping the wheel makes you feel strong.
But when your neighbor asks why you bought it...
You quote the horsepower.
Exactly. You use the logic to defend the emotion.
So if the feeling brain is the one driving the car, we really need to know what it is steering toward.
Where is it going?
Well, Human habits show us there are basically 4 invisible layers of desire.
4 layers. Okay, break those down for me.
The first layer is functional.
Which means what exactly?
It is simply what the product does.
Okay.
It makes a spreadsheet faster, it drills a hole, it keeps your coffee hot.
That is the baseline.
Right. And sadly, that is where most amateur sales pitches stop.
Because they just list features.
Yeah. If someone stops there, they aren't really persuading anyone. They are just reading a user manual out loud.
Nobody wants to be read a manual.
Exactly. Which forces us down to the second layer.
Which is
the emotional layer.
That's how it makes them feel.
Right. How does the product make the buyer feel in the moment?
Like, does it make them feel safe?
Or maybe relieved that a huge headache is gone. Or calm.
Okay, functional then emotional. What is the third?
The third is where the real power lives. The deepest motive. It is identity.
Identity, like who they are.
Who the buyer becomes by making this choice.
Oh, wow.
Think about why people buy those really premium, super expensive tools when a basic one would work fine.
Like a $500 hammer.
Yeah. They don't actually need the exact balance of a $500 hammer to hit a nail.
Or a massive enterprise software suite for a team of 3.
Exactly. They buy it because holding that tool allows them to see themselves as serious pros.
So the purchase is just a mirror.
A mirror reflecting the best version of themselves.
That is wild.
And when a product links to someone's self-image, price drops away as a problem.
Because you aren't pricing a tool anymore.
You are pricing their self-worth.
Oh, that is deep.
And that bleeds right into the fourth layer, which is social desire.
How other people see them.
Right. How does this purchase change their standing with the rest of the pack?
Will this software make their team look smart to the board?
Will this car signal success to their friends? That is the social layer.
Okay, I have to play devil's advocate for a second here.
Go for it.
Let's say I am a buyer, and my budget is strictly capped at 10 grand.
Okay.
And your software is 20 grand.
Right.
No amount of emotional identity is going to just magically invent 10 grand out of thin air.
Sure.
Isn't price just a hard math roadblock? If a buyer says it's too expensive, why shouldn't I just offer a discount?
Look, if they are literally bankrupt, sure, the math stops the deal.
But they usually aren't bankrupt.
Right. Most budget caps are mental, not literal.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Have you ever heard of loss aversion?
I think so. That is the idea that losing hurts worse than winning feels good.
Exactly. The pain of losing something is roughly twice as strong as the joy of gaining something equal.
So losing $100 hurts more than finding $100 feels good.
Way more. Our brains view a budget risk the exact same way our ancestors viewed a predator.
Because losing a meal back then meant you might die.
Right, while gaining an extra meal just meant you were full for the night.
So we are wired to be terrified of making a mistake.
And losing what we already have.
That is so true.
So when a buyer says, it is too expensive, they aren't always looking at the bank account.
What are they looking at?
They're having panic attack. They're looking at the fear of loss.
Like losing face with their boss if the tool fails.
Or losing the safety of their normal routine, or losing status.
So if you throw a 10% discount at that fear.
You don't fix the fear, you just give their logic brain more math to construct a no.
It's like negotiating the price with the defense lawyer while the client is having a panic attack in the next room.
That is the perfect way to say it. Lowering the price does not calm the feeling brain down.
So how do you fix it? How do you overcome the price issue?
You have to flip the loss aversion around.
Make them afraid of not buying.
Yes. You help them clearly see what they lose by staying stuck. You make doing nothing feel like the bigger threat to their identity.
You solve the emotional math first.
And then the actual math suddenly finds a way to work itself out.
Okay, so if we view a budget risk the same way a caveman viewed a tiger,
Yeah.
how does a normal salesperson actually calm that survival instinct down during a pitch?
This is where we get into the actual chemistry of trust.
Chemistry.
Like hormones?
Yeah, mainly the trust chemical, the one that makes us bond.
Oh, oxytocin.
Right. We usually hear about it as a love hormone, but in sales, it has a very specific job.
What does it do?
When a person feels truly understood, not just heard, but deeply understood,
There's a difference.
a huge difference. When they feel that, their brain drops oxytocin into the system and it literally turns off the fear response. It lowers their defensive walls.
Exactly. Empathy isn't just a nice, soft skill. It is a biological tool to bypass a threat response.
That reminds me of this story I heard about a medical device rep.
Oh, Sarah.
Yes, Sarah. She's the perfect example of this.
Walk us through it.
So she was stuck at about 80% of her sales target.
Which is frustrating.
Super frustrating because she had flawless knowledge of her products.
She knew every spec.
She knew the clinical data better than anyone in her firm.
But she was pitching totally at that first layer, the functional layer.
Right. She was just explaining stats and trial outcomes.
And how did the buyers react?
They ghosted her. Her technical knowledge was actually acting like a shield,
She was staying safely in the logic brain.
completely missing the trust chemical trigger.
So what did she change?
She changed her questions. Instead of just checking off the clinical needs, she started asking about the personal impact.
Give me an example.
She would look at the doctor and ask, what would it mean for you personally if this patient issue was finally fixed?
Oh, that is a great question.
Right. By moving the focus to the doctor's identity and their own relief, she triggered that feeling of being understood.
She hit the third layer, identity.
And within 2 quarters, her conversion rate jumped from 54% to 71%.
That is massive.
And she didn't learn a single new product feature.
She just realized that she used to sell what the product does.
But now she sells what the client becomes.
That is the whole secret right there. It reminds me of another rep, a guy named James.
Oh, the older enterprise rep.
Yeah, James was 47, super seasoned, but he was struggling
Wow.
because a whole new wave of younger buyers was stalling his deals out.
The old tactics weren't working.
Right. His logical, heavy pitches were just falling flat. He felt totally out of touch.
So what happened?
He had this light bulb moment while watching his teenage daughter pick a streaming service.
A streaming service, like for movies.
Yeah. He watched her pick one, and she did not look at the catalog size or the video specs.
What did she look at?
She made her choice based purely on how the brand made her feel about herself.
Pure identity buying.
Pure identity. And James realized his boring enterprise software was no different.
Wait, really? Software is like a streaming brand.
Human brains are human brains. Instead of assuming these young buyers cared about the tech specs, he started asking them about their careers.
Like what?
What does a major win look like for you in this role?
Oh, tapping into the social layer.
Exactly. How will this tool make you look to your peers? Will it make you look like a tech pioneer to your boss?
And did it work?
It led to his best revenue year in a decade.
See, that completely wrecks the biggest myth in sales.
Which one?
The myth of the naturally charming salesperson.
Oh, the smooth talker.
Right. We always picture this loud extrovert guy who can charm a room into buying anything.
But the reality is so different.
The real stars aren't the charmers. Curiosity and empathy always beat charm, mathematically.
Every single time. Charm just makes the buyer think you are great,
But curiosity makes the buyer feel understood.
which triggers the trust chemical.
Exactly. It forces a tough mirror for anyone listening to this right now.
Ask yourself, are you leaning on your charm to win people over?
Or are you relying on real curiosity about what they're going through?
It is a totally different game. But, getting that oxytocin hit is one thing.
Right. Theory is easy.
Doing it daily, when you are staring down a stalled deal, that takes a real playbook.
Well, so how do we actually do this in the real world?
Well, there are a few daily habits. The first one is called future feeling.
Future feeling, like the brain time traveling.
Exactly. Getting a prospect to clearly describe their perfect future creates a huge emotional hook.
How does that work in the brain?
The brain is funny. It doesn't really know the difference between a deeply imagined emotion and a real one happening right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. When you ask someone to describe in detail what their week looks like when a massive headache is finally gone,
Their brain starts feeling the relief right then and there.
it releases the good chemicals in the present moment. They get emotionally tied to the fix before they even buy it.
I heard about this manager, Jennifer, who used that exact move.
Oh, tell me.
She was working a huge 6-figure deal, and it was just stuck.
Classic. The client says it does a priority, but nobody signs.
Right. Week after week, zero movement.
So what does she do?
Instead of sending another just following up email with more features,
Which never works.
never. She got them on a quick call and just asked them to vividly paint a picture of their perfect week.
Just describe the dream state.
Yeah. She walked them through the future feeling of having the roadblock totally removed.
She helped them pitch themselves.
Yes. Because when they spoke that positive future out loud, their brains linked that warm feeling of relief right onto Jennifer.
Because she was the one who guided the vision.
Exactly. They signed the contract 2 weeks later.
That is brilliant. So if someone wants to try this today, they need to change their sentences.
From feature statements to what?
To emotion and consequence statements.
Give me an example of that.
So if I say, this software puts your reports on autopilot, I'm just talking to the logic brain.
It is just a feature.
Right. But if I say, what this means is that on Monday morning, your team is looking to you for strategy instead of waiting on you for data.
Oh, wow. You are hitting the identity layer.
The feature is exactly the same.
But the emotional hit is totally different. You are speaking right to their desire to be seen as a smart leader.
You also have to train your ear for microsignals.
Microsignals, like tiny clues?
Yeah. Listen for possessive words.
Possessive words, like my or our.
Exactly. When someone says, oh, my team would use this button, or our daily sync would look like this,
They are subconsciously taking ownership of it.
they have already bought it in their mind. And when you hear that tiny signal,
Do you keep pitching?
no,
Yeah.
that's the worst thing you can do. You validate it and respond warmly. You don't dump more facts on them.
Which brings us to probably the hardest tactic in the entire playbook.
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
Deliberate silence.
It is so hard to do.
It goes against every instinct we have. Think about it. When a client tells us about a deep pain point,
Our human urge is to rush in and save them.
yes, we want to instantly yell, hey, we have a tool for that.
But rushing in ruins the moment.
Letting that silence just hang there, letting them actually sit in the pain of their current mess is your best friend.
Why is that silence so vital mechanically?
It goes back to the speed of the fear center.
Right, the fast brain.
Silence gives the emotional weight of their problem time to fully sink in.
It needs room to breathe.
If you jump in right away with a logical fix, you short-circuit the whole feeling.
You yank them back into the slow logic brain too fast.
Exactly. You literally rescue them from the very emotion that would cause them to take action.
But let's pause here because we need to be careful.
About what?
When we talk about triggering trust chemicals and deliberate silence, it can sound a little shady.
Like we were weaponizing brain science against people.
Yeah, like it is some kind of mind trick. No, there is a very clear line here. Shady selling makes up fake emotions.
Like creating fake scarcity. Buy now or the deal is gone.
Right. Real, honest sales awareness is totally different. You're simply holding up a mirror to help them see their own real motives.
You can't fake the trust chemical.
You really can't. True empathy means you genuinely want to fix their actual problem. The best pros are the ones who get the psychology, because they are the ones fixing the root pain.
We aren't creating the emotion. We're just finally learning how to speak its language.
Exactly.
So as we bring this deep dive in for a landing, let's look at the path we walked today.
It is a pretty wild path.
We started with the sheer biology of it all. Our lightning-fast feeling brain makes choices long before our slow logic brain even wakes up.
Leaving our logic to just play the defense lawyer.
Then we looked at the 4 layers of desire, moving past the basic tool function, deep down into the emotional, identity, and social needs.
The real drivers.
We saw how true curiosity sparks the trust chemical, turning off that caveman fear of losing money.
And we broke down how to use future feelings and silence to help buyers guide themselves.
It completely shifts how we should look at every conversation.
Honestly, it does. Whether you are pitching enterprise software or selling an idea to your manager or just trying to figure out why you bought a bread maker at 2 a.m.
The gears running the machine are the exact same. The real currency of a choice is almost never the features.
And it is rarely the budget.
The true currency is identity and emotion.
Spot on.
And that leads me to a final thought I want to leave you with today. Something to just chew on after you finish listening.
Lay it on us.
If our deepest, most powerful buying motive is identity.
The desire of who we want to become.
Right. If that is true, what happens when the product outlives that feeling?
Oh, that is a good question.
Think right now about the most expensive thing you own that is just sitting in a closet or collecting dust in your garage.
We all have one.
Did that product actually break? Did it fail to do its job?
Probably not.
Or did you simply stop wanting to be the version of yourself you were when you bought it?
Wow.
The next time you feel that sudden, urgent need to pull out your credit card, take a breath. Ask yourself, am I just buying a tool? Or am I trying to buy a brand new personality?
These thoughts, these questions, they don't have to stop here. Sales Geeks has many more podcasts and videos just like this one. Subscribe to the channel and explore other episodes that all flow the same honest way. If this podcast felt genuinely useful to you, share it with even one person in your life. That one share can bring a real change in someone's life, and it helps Sales Geeks reach more people who truly need this. If this brought you real value, look for the join button right next to the Sales Geeks logo below this video. Click it and become a member of the Sales Support Circle. Your support helps honest sales awareness reach thousands who are silently struggling. Sales Geeks moves forward because of you. Thank you so much from the heart for being here.